I'm glad a few people still on. Internet not working well. Comcast down. Cuzzo, you back? Miss Hewitt. What's up, Victoria? I don't know if we on good, y'all. So if y'all get a bad connection, just let me know. I'm not coming in real clear, so I can see y'all. Let me know down there. Link in, say you like the page. We're gonna have some good discussions today, man. What's buzzing? What's going on in our community, in our Facebook family? Hope we get more people on. I'm gonna actually go ahead and get started. Today we're buzzing about what's going on around in our community, what we're seeing go on around our community, and it's gonna be a global topic. So before we start, just to let y'all know about our mission here at the Buzz Session with me. We're here to broadcast a unique blend of live talk radio interviews covering a plethora of empowered and intelligent news mixed with humor. Our topics range from race, religion, spirituality, politics, sports, relationships, community development. Anything is open for discussion. We will converse about a myriad of things with the intent to make you laugh, cry, think. Most important, we hope to inspire you to be the change that you want to see in the world. So I just want to get it on and keep the movement going, because what we're seeing is my internet is not working as well as it's supposed to work. So y'all let me know what's going on, because I don't want y'all to have a bad connection. I'm going to try to hook back up to the primary internet. But today we're going to talk about the shooting on the national capital. That's what we're buzzing about. What's going on nationwide. And not only what's going on, because they can't hold us. What's going on and why is it going on? I have a particular answer of why I believe this topic is so important and why I think that we're seeing some of the things that we think. I have very conservative upbringing, so my opinions may come off as conservative, but I believe that it's a truth to being conservative in a sense of how you was raised. And we're going to talk about those things today. We're going to talk about what tradition look like, and how we can encompass tradition into what we're seeing today. And not only that, how tradition is affecting some of the things that we're seeing our young people do, and some of the things that we see going on within the communities of the United States. One of my favorite songs is by Lauryn Hill. And right now we're going to do a quick commercial break. It ain't a commercial, but if it was a commercial break, then it probably will go right here. But we don't have the sponsors right now to go in this place, so our commercial break is gonna be a brief moment, maybe with a little music in the background. No music in the background. But if the commercial break was going on, it'd be right here. I'm also just getting myself together so I can present what we're talking about. Now, for if you want to advertise, I just want you to know that we'll be advertising through this media, me speaking to you, and we having actually some graphic visuals to come up during this time. But we also going to have you to put your information on our Facebook fan page. We also going to have a Twitter account where we can tweet some of your stuff to the different people that we're tweeting to. And that Twitter page is BS with Woolard. We're going to have a blog talk radio where we're doing blog talk. We're also going to have a Gmail page. We do have one. And it's Buzz Session with Woolard at gmail.com. So please text me, inbox me, anything that you want to talk about. We do talk about future programs. And also like what you see going on. And actually put a like in. That'll help me out, know who I'm talking to, the better bring information to my audience. Today we're going to talk about three main topics. The shooting that happened in the national capital. We're also going to talk about the gunman who brought the AR-15 and the handgun into Bellevue Baptist Church, and we're also going to talk about the Easter egg hunt that happened on the White House lawns. We're just going to jump right into it because I don't have a lot of time. I know y'all be like, man, you squeezing all that into this short 30 minutes, and I am. So I want to start this whole conversation and talk about what happened. Why are we buzzing about this during the Easter break? And the big buzz to me is us talking about respect. What respect looks like, what it is, and why do we respect? For me, respect, it looks like a way that somebody can say that I understand what you're doing, and I'm going to look at what you're doing, and I'm going to allow you to do it, and I'm going to allow you to do it how you want it to be done. That's a simple version of respect. What we have in our communities now is a lack of respect. That means that no matter what you're doing, somebody don't respect you enough to allow you to do the things that you think that is important. And the reason why we have to talk about these subjects is because we have an upcoming election. And with that upcoming election, and we're talking about respect, we're seeing a lot of different people from different parts of the political region, from the Republican Party, where we're seeing Donald Trump and Mr. Cruz going at it with their wives. They're not respecting each other. And you can see where that respect is leading to the downfall of the Republican Party. We've seen disrespect in the past where you had a president of the United States who's not getting the respect that he deserved, rightfully deserved, just by people. You'll have a person that call him Barack Obama and don't call him President Barack Obama. You'll have people that'll disrespect him as, and I heard when I was at work today, man, they shooting in the Capitol. Man, it look like they're gonna take out a few people in a negative way. Now they may not have really meant that, but when you say something, people around you take it for what it is. And when you say those particular things about your United States government, what do you think that other people think of you? A lot of you know that I'm a police officer. One of the biggest things that I do, this is a quick story about me. One of the biggest things that I do when I go to households where parents are having problems with their children, I always use this analogy. And this is a good analogy for you to use. When I go to a household and a parent will tell me, well, my son don't want to go to school today. Well, my son is being disorderly in school. Well, my son is not coming home when he's supposed to come home, or she's supposed to come home. Or my child is not doing the things or the values that I have thought I taught him, but I really didn't teach him. So one analogy that I try to use is I talk straight to the child, and I tell the child this: do you respect me? And the first thing the child will tell me, yes, I respect you. And then I ask them, well, do you respect your mother? And then they always say, yes, I respect your mother. I said, now what if I was disrespectful? Right then, it catches the child's attention. And they go, what you mean, what if you were disrespectful? I said, what if I walked in here and this problem wasn't about you? And I walked in here and I slapped your mother or I slapped your father. That would be me being disrespectful. What would you do? And the first thing the child would say, well, man, I'd be upset at you, and you know, me and you'll have a problem. You done slap my mama and my daddy, we'll have an issue. So I said, so what are you doing? And that starts making them think, I said, you being disrespectful to your mother and your father by disobeying them. And they go, okay, where you going with this? And then I go, okay, here. I slap your mother, I slap your father, and you don't do nothing. You saying that's okay. But when you do something disrespectful to your mother by cussing in front of your mother, by doing stuff your mother or father asks you not to do, like go to the store and come right back home, but you don't do it. I said, you are disrespecting your mother and father. You're not doing what they asked you to do. So in that particular case, you allow me to come in and say, if you can disrespect your mother and father, then I can. And immediately, you see that light bulb go on in those kids' head. So that's what I'm saying about our government, our traditions. We have to have some type of tradition to keep those things from happening. If you see your own people in the United States disrespect the President of the United States, what do you think the other countries think of our country? Do you think the other people think that our country is weak or strong? But we all in the same country. So you have to have some type of respect for the things that you put in place that you will have in a civil society. Yes, I don't always agree with what the president say. Yes, I don't always agree with what Congress say. Yes, I don't always agree with what the Supreme Court say. But I agree to disagree. So I show respect to those decisions that are made, and I live my life accordingly. And we have a lot of that going on. If you talk to a lot of the some of the white friends I have, you can hear them talk about, we're gonna go. Texas is gonna leave the union. We're not in a civil war. It's not a union anymore. It's the United States of America. Texas is not going anywhere. That's people who have a disrespect or have no respect of tradition. They have no respect of the people that govern them. And that says something about what we're seeing in our capital. And that's what we had. We had these people come into our capital and shoot up our capital. Some place should be hollow ground. Not to say that we're worshiping that particular place, but some things that shouldn't be done. I don't go to a library and talk loud because that's not to be done. You in the library to read and take in books. When you go to a place like the Capitol, you don't go in there with a gun. That's a disrespect to our government. And that's what we're seeing with our government. They're trying to defend themselves, and they're trying to do their best. And it doesn't matter who's in charge. What matters is nobody disrespects our government, our flag. I've seen people who step on the flag, who burn the flag. Now, I'm not the person that get up in an uproar that says, okay, I'm going to kill you if you step on the flag. I'm not that person. I won't do that. But I do believe that's a form of disrespect. And I think something should be done. Now, is it to the degree that somebody should be hurt because you step on the flag? I don't agree with that. But I think that there's a level of respect that we have to show towards some of the traditions that the United States have, some of the traditions that we have throughout our community. And that goes to our second point, what we saw this Easter. Now I'm going to tell you about two events that happened this Easter. The first event that we had on a local area is here in Memphis. We have a mega church. It's a huge church called Bellevue Baptist. And what we seen a man with an AR-15, which is like a machine gun, and he had a handgun, and he attempted to go into Bellevue Baptist. Now, I don't think you attempt to go into a church or any place where a large group of people are with that kind of gun, with the thought that somebody is trying to attack you, so you're going to take those weapons to church with you. That is not. I don't believe what the guy is saying that happens. I believe his intent was to go into that church and probably do harm to somebody. And we just so happen to have, by the good graces of the Lord, we had some officers who were there to stop this from happening. And they didn't kill him. They subdued him and took his weapons, and they emergency committed him. They took him to jail. or to a hospital where he can get some help. But that event comes to the point of a respectful church. Now, I grew up in a Baptist church. I've been into Kojic churches. I grew up in a Catholic school. I've been to Catholic churches. I've been to pretty much every different level of churches that you have. And I'm a spiritual person, but I respect religion. And religion is those particular forms, being a Catholic, being a Baptist, for me, or being Kojic, or being A&E, A-M-N-E, I guess that's right. Any one of those forms of religion is I respect the way that they do business. And in order to respect some of those traditions, I have to agree to disagree with some of the traditions. I'm a spiritual person and I do believe in Christianity, but I do have to understand that some people choose to understand their religion, their spirituality in different religions. And we are seeing that people are disrespecting those particular religions. Now, whatever way you want to do it, I think it's fine, but we have to find a way, a median, so we can understand that your religion is nothing wrong with it. Your belief is nothing wrong with it. I respect it, and I'm not going to come to your religion and be disrespectful. And that's what we see. We have those particular problems. We have problems when we try to force our way of spirituality on a particular person. And that's not something I want to do. And I don't think that my particular belief or spirituality wants to force somebody into believing in God the way I want to believe in God. And I shouldn't force other people to do the same. I should give them the information that I believe and allow them to choose for themselves. And that's how we find that median ground. That's how we find that place. So us talking today, I just wanted to give those particular examples of what we're seeing today, what's buzzing, what's going on in our communities. And we're seeing it on a global or national level, and we're seeing it on a local level, where we're seeing some of these churches having problems. And we see that congregations are putting preachers out, or preachers are putting out members of their congregation. We have to respect the traditions. You know, we have guidelines that we have to go by. And for us to see that we're not living in a chaotic world, we have to have particular guidelines. I always heard my grandmother and my mother say that our God is not a God of chaos. He's not a God of disorder. He's a God of order. And if if that's what I believe in, then we have to believe in some rules, some laws. And we have to follow and abide by those laws. Even when we don't agree with those laws, we have to agree to disagree. And if we don't want to be around it, if we don't want to follow those particular issues, then we have to move to another place where we can separate ourselves from the things that we don't want to be around. Right? Not separate ourselves from a particular group, but separate ourselves from their thought process. And I think that's what that helps us when you talk about respect. The last topic and the last big topic that I want to talk about is the Easter egg hunt at the White House. And that goes to the point of what we're seeing our children do. So how this all ties into respect is the Easter egg hunt happened at the White House. And you saw where the parents were so disrespectful. They got out there and they took it upon themselves to tear up other kids' baskets and to ruin the whole event. This has been a tradition for the last 2 years, if I'm not mistaken. And when they brought this tradition, they started this tradition, they had a vision of what it looked like. And the vision wasn't the parents getting involved with the kids enjoying themselves. Those children are supposed to enjoy themselves and have an Easter egg hunt. And the whole thought process of this Easter egg hunt, now, we don't want to make this a pagan type issue. I don't think this has anything to do with pagan. Now, traditionally, when we look at Easter eggs and we look at eggs and during the Easter time, we've all known, or we all had that thought process that was a sign of fertility. Those were the moments that we thought about the coming of spring, how we had different animals to come, more animals to come, us having children during that time. This was a time of celebrating and having a festivity of multiplying the earth, being fruitful, being of abundancy. And that's what that part of Easter is about. We don't look at it as we're glorifying it or we're going to praise to the Easter bunny egg. No, this is a process of what we want to celebrate amongst each other. Now, going back to how we got to where the Easter egg hunt had got out of control, and you have all these parents going out here pushing little kids over, and they had to cancel it. Now, that shows you the level of disrespect that our parents are showing and are teaching our children. So when you're asking our parents to be the person that showed our children, they don't have a clue. They're not educated, and they're stuck not knowing what to do. And that goes into the point that, and I got to go back local. I was watching the Thaddeus Matthews show, and he had a very, very interesting point. Now, I don't always agree with him, but he had some great points at times. And one of the points was he was helping a young lady who had passed or was killed this year in Memphis. And in her being killed this year in Memphis, her parents didn't have the money, couldn't afford to bury her. So they reached out to Thaddeus Matthews. Now, whatever he did to help those particular people, he did it of his own recourse. He did it for him, not for him, for the family. And you wouldn't believe what people do and think that they're entitled to because somebody is saying that they'll help them. This man got his viewers to donate money to him so he could bury this child. And the parents were so ungrateful. They didn't thank him. They tried to attack him. And that goes to the point of disrespect. They don't have no respect for themselves because here's somebody trying to help you. Whatever the help is, it's better than what you had, which is nothing. And you saying that he either trying to take money or he's trying to do something in your child's name. That's irrelevant. What you should be concentrating on is the tradition of trying to get your child into a grave and being grateful that somebody actually helped you did that. And we're seeing that with the parents. We're seeing parents go out on football fields with their kids. We're seeing parents go on the basketball court. And we've seen these parents go to this Easter egg hunt, and they took it to a whole nother level. And with that being said, it's just not responsible enough for our children to see that us as grown people don't know what we're doing. We don't know the values to put in place during these times. So that's what this talk was about today. We was buzzing about what's going on with us treating our places with lack of respect, us treating the nation capital with lack of respect, us treating the schools with lack of respect. Our teachers are not respected by our kids. Us going to places and having no respect, like our churches. We go to church now, we got to carry a gun. You see what I mean? We have to have security. This is supposed to be a place of peace. This is supposed to be a place that's feeding your spirit. And we have to worry about and think about people being disrespectful and coming to these particular places and doing harm to people. And we have to, as a Facebook family, we have to get this message. And I know this was a hard one to digest. We have to get this message and make sure that we are giving it to other people. So this is me, in and our our long talk, but you know we always have a moment of where I end our show, and I enjoyed myself today, and I just want you to know everything is everything, and I'm gonna see y'all tomorrow, and I'm glad y'all tuning in. Give a shout out to all the people. I see you, Shanielle. I see you, Miss Bond. Sid Clash. I appreciate everybody who jumped on. Put a like down here if you've seen this. And I'll talk to you later.